Good evening, dear friend. My name is Mr. James Candlelight, and I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Tonight, we travel to Vienna, Austria, not the modern city of tourists and traffic, but the Vienna of narrow cobblestone streets and old workshops where craftsmen still practice ancient arts. We will visit the workshop of Heinrich Adler, a 90-year-old luthier, a maker of violins, who has spent 75 years crafting instruments by hand, the old way, the slow way, the right way. Heinrich is the last of his kind in Vienna. When he's gone, no one will remain who learned the craft from the true masters. No one will know the secrets he knows, the patience he's mastered, the wisdom he's earned. But Heinrich is not sad about this. He has learned perhaps the most important lesson of all, that perfection is a myth, that beauty lives in imperfection, and that the cracks in things are what let the light shine through. This is a story about craftsmanship and letting go, about pursuing excellence without chasing perfection, about knowing that what we create doesn't have to be flawless, to be beautiful, meaningful, and loved. Before we step into Heinrich's workshop, let us prepare ourselves with deep relaxation so we can fully appreciate the wisdom he has to share. Settle in now. Get comfortable. Let's begin. Imagine yourself walking down a narrow street in old Vienna. The buildings are tall and close together. The afternoon light is golden. You can hear music drifting from open windows, someone practicing scales, someone else playing a waltz. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each number, you will walk closer to Heinrich's workshop, deeper into relaxation, further into peace. 10. Feel the cobblestones beneath your feet, uneven, ancient, worn by centuries of footsteps. Each step is supported. The earth holds you. You don't have to hold yourself. Let yourself be carried by each step. 9. Notice your body. Where are you holding tension? Perhaps in your hands, gripping too tightly, in your shoulders, carrying too much, in your jaw, clenching against the world. Let these places soften now, like wood being sanded smooth, gradually, gently, with patience. 8. You are completely safe. This street is peaceful. This journey is gentle. My voice guides you. But you can trust yourself too. You know the way to rest. Your body knows. Surrender to that knowing now. 7. Thoughts pass through like pedestrians on a Vienna street, some in a hurry, some leisurely strolling. You don't need to stop each one. You don't need to follow them. Just let them pass. Nod politely. Move on. Your mind can be as clear as a quiet morning street. 6. This moment is yours. This rest is necessary. You've been working so hard, striving, pushing, trying to be perfect. But tonight, you can rest. Tonight, you can be imperfect, and that's not just okay. It's beautiful. 5. Peace is not something you achieve through effort. It's something you allow. Like sunlight through a window. You don't make it happen. You just stop blocking it. Stop blocking it now. Let peace in. 4. Breathe in gratitude for this moment, for this rest, for this story, for the craftsmen who work slowly, for the artists who work with love, for all who choose quality over speed. Let gratitude warm you like afternoon sun through old glass. 3. You can see the workshop now. A small storefront, a wooden sign hanging above. H. Adler, Geigenbaumeister, violin maker. The window is dusty, but through it you can see violins hanging, warm light glowing inside. This is where we're going. This is where wisdom waits. 2. Your body is so heavy now, so relaxed, sinking like you're settling into an old, comfortable chair. But your attention is light, curious, ready to learn. This is the balance, rest, and awareness together. 1. The door to the workshop opens. A bell chimes softly. As the story unfolds, you will step inside and meet Heinrich. You are welcome. You are expected. You are home. And now we enter the workshop of the last violin maker of Vienna. The workshop is small, just one room really, but it feels larger because of how carefully everything is arranged. Workbenches line the walls. Tools hang in precise order. Chisels, planes, files, each one worn smooth by decades of use. The handles are darkened by the oil of countless hours of holding. Wood is everywhere. Pieces of spruce and maple stacked carefully. Blocks of ebony, curls of shavings on the floor like frozen waves, and violins. Violins in every stage of creation. Some are just pieces, a back, a belly, ribs being bent over a hot iron. Others are nearly complete, waiting for varnish. A few hang finished on the wall, glowing in the afternoon light like captured amber. The air smells of wood and varnish and time. At the main workbench, bent over a piece of maple, is Heinrich Adler. He's 90 years old, but his hands are steady. His back is curved from decades of bending over this bench, but his eyes are sharp behind wire-rimmed glasses. He's using a small plane, taking impossibly thin shavings from the wood. Each stroke is deliberate, practiced, perfect in its imperfection. He doesn't look up when you enter, though the bell surely announced your arrival. "Close the door, please," he says in accented English, his voice rough but kind. The draft disturbs the shavings. You close the door gently. The bell chimes again. "Sit," Heinrich says, nodding toward a stool near his bench. "I'll be finished with this in a moment. Can't rush. The wood knows when you're rushing." You sit and watch him work. His movements are slow but fluid. There's no hesitation, no wasted motion. He's done this 10,000 times, and each time is like the first. Full attention, full presence. After a few minutes, he sets down the plane and holds up the piece of wood, examining it in the light. Gut, he mutters. Good enough. He sets it aside and finally looks at you properly. His face is deeply lined, each wrinkle a story. His eyes are blue-gray, like winter sky. When he smiles, his whole face transforms. Welcome, he says. I don't get many visitors anymore. Young people, they buy violins from factories, from China, from computers that carve them in minutes. He shrugs. Can't blame them. Cheaper, faster, close enough to the real thing. But you're still making them, you say, the old way. Heinrich nods. I am. But I'm the last when I'm gone. He trails off, looking around his workshop. Well, this goes with me. How long have you been making violins? You ask. Heinrich considers. I started my apprenticeship when I was 15. That was 1950. So, 75 years now, more than 7 decades. He picks up an unfinished violin body, running his fingers over its curves. My master, Herr Brunner, he learned from the old masters before the war, and they learned from masters before them. The tradition goes back hundreds of years. Stradivari, Guarneri, Amati, the great Italian makers. And now it ends with you, you ask. Yes. I had apprentices over the years, good boys, most of them, but they all left eventually. One became an engineer, makes more money. One moved to America. One died young. Life is life. He sets down the violin body and looks at you directly. But you didn't come here to hear an old man complain about the death of tradition. You came for something else. What is it? The question catches you off guard. You're not sure what to say. Heinrich smiles gently. People don't find my shop by accident. Something brings them. Usually, they're searching for something or trying to escape something. Which is it for you? You think about this. I think I'm tired of never being good enough, of trying so hard to be perfect and always failing. Heinrich nods slowly. Ah, yes, the trap of perfection. I know it well. He stands with a soft grunt and moves to the wall where finished violins hang. He takes one down carefully and brings it back to his bench. Look at this, he says, holding it out to you. You take the violin carefully. It's beautiful. The wood glows with a deep amber varnish. The grain is visible, flowing like water. The craftsmanship is extraordinary. Now look closer, Heinrich instructs. Look for the flaws. You examine it more carefully. And yes, now you see them, tiny imperfections. The varnish is slightly uneven in one spot. One of the F-holes is microscopically asymmetrical, a barely visible scratch near the scroll. You see, Heinrich says, 75 years of experience, and I still can't make a perfect violin. And you know what? Neither could Stradivari, neither could Guarneri, neither could any of the masters. He takes the violin back and plucks one of the strings. The note rings out, pure and beautiful. But listen, does it sound perfect? Number. Perfect would be sterile, digital, empty. This sounds human, alive, real. He plucks another string. The imperfections, they're what gives it character, what makes it unique, what makes it sing. Heinrich returns the violin to the wall and sits back down at his bench. Let me tell you a story, he says, picking up his tools again. When I was young, maybe 30 years old, I made what I thought was my masterpiece. I worked on it for a year, every measurement precise, every cut perfect, every detail exactly as the old masters specified. When it was finished, I was so proud. I thought, this is it. This is the one that will make me famous. This is perfection. He pauses, lost in memory. I took it to a master violinist for evaluation. He played it, and do you know what he said? You shake your head. He said, Heinrich, this is technically flawless, but it has no soul. It sounds like a violin built by fear. Heinrich looks at you. He was right. I built it trying so hard not to make mistakes that I squeezed all the life out of it, all the personality, all the humanity. What did you do? You ask. I cried, Heinrich says, simply. Then I took it home and started over. Not the violin. I couldn't bear to remake it, but my approach, my philosophy. I decided I will make violins the best I can, but I will not chase perfection. I will make them with love instead of fear, with joy instead of anxiety, and I will accept that they will be imperfect, and that's what will make them beautiful. He holds up the piece of maple he was working on earlier. See this wood? It has a knot right here. Most makers would discard it, but I'm going to work with it. Let it be part of the instrument's character. Won't that affect the sound, you ask? Maybe, Heinrich admits, or maybe it will make the sound more interesting, more unique. I won't know until it's finished, but that's the joy, the uncertainty, the surprise. You spend the afternoon in Heinrich's workshop. He teaches you about wood, how spruce is chosen for the top because it's light and responsive, how maple is used for the back because it's dense and reflective. He shows you how to bend the ribs using heat and moisture, how to carve the scroll by hand, how to mix varnish from old recipes. But more than technique, he teaches you philosophy. You see how I work? He says at one point, slowly, very slowly. Young people, they want results now, today, this instant, but good things take time. He runs his hand over a violin body he's been working on for months. This will take another year to finish, maybe more, and when it's done, it will still have flaws, but it will be loved, by me first, then by whoever plays it. And that love matters more than perfection. Later, as the afternoon light shifts toward evening, Heinrich makes tea. He has a small electric kettle in the corner, one of the only modern conveniences in the workshop. He brings you a cup, steam rising. My wife, Greta, she passed 10 years ago, he says, settling into his chair. She used to bring me tea every afternoon. Now I make it myself. It doesn't taste as good, but he shrugs with a smile that holds both sadness and acceptance. I miss her every day. We were married 62 years. She was not perfect. I was not perfect. Our marriage was not perfect, but it was good. It was real. It was enough. He sips his tea. That's what I've learned in 90 years. Enough is enough. Good enough is good enough. Perfect is not only impossible, it's not even desirable. Why not, you ask? Heinrich thinks about this. Because perfection has nowhere to go, no room to grow, no space for surprise or discovery or change. Perfection is dead. Imperfection is alive. He gestures around the workshop. All my violins, imperfect. All the music played on them, imperfect. All the musicians who played them, imperfect. But together, they create something transcendent, something that touches the soul. That's the paradox. We reach for perfection, but it's our imperfect reaching that creates beauty. As evening deepens, Heinrich shows you something special. He goes to a cabinet and carefully removes a violin. Not one of his. This one is clearly very old. The varnish is worn. The wood is dark with age. This, he says reverently, belonged to my master, Herr Brunner. And before that, to his master. It's nearly 200 years old. He hands it to you carefully. You hold it like the precious thing it is. Look at it, Heinrich says. Really look. You do? It's covered in wear, scratches, dings, places where the varnish has worn away completely. One of the corners has been repaired. You can see where it was cracked and glued. It's been dropped, knocked, repaired, used hard for 2 centuries. It is, by any objective measure, damaged. He takes it back and plucks the strings. Despite its age and wear, the sound is extraordinary, rich, deep, complex. This violin has lived, Heinrich says. It has been to concert halls and taverns. It has played Mozart and folk songs. It has been held by dozens of musicians, each one leaving their mark. All those imperfections, they're its story. They're what makes it priceless. He carefully tucks the violin under his chin and draws a bow across the strings. The note that emerges is so beautiful, it brings tears to your eyes. Heinrich plays a simple melody, nothing complex or showy, just a folk tune, old as the hills, played with such feeling that it seems to contain all of human experience, joy and sorrow, meeting and parting, love and loss. When he finishes, the note hangs in the air for a long moment before fading. That, Heinrich says quietly, is what imperfection sounds like life, like truth, like home. Night has fallen outside. Through the workshop window, you can see street lights coming on in old Vienna. Heinrich carefully returns the ancient violin to its case. I should close the shop, he says. An old man needs his rest. You stand to leave, but Heinrich stops you. Wait. I want to give you something. He goes to a drawer and pulls out a small piece of wood. It's oddly shaped, with a visible knot in the the center, a piece most makers would throw away. This is from a violin I made 20 years ago. The knot made it unusable for the instrument, so I kept it. But look, see how beautiful it is. He's right. The grain flows around the knot in a pattern like water around a stone. The imperfection creates something striking. Take it, Heinrich says. Keep it in your pocket. When you're trying too hard to be perfect, touch it. Remember, the flaw is what makes it beautiful. You accept the piece of wood. It's warm from Heinrich's hand. Thank you, you say, for everything, for the lesson. Heinrich smiles. What lesson? I'm just an old man who makes violins slowly and badly. But his eyes twinkle. He knows what he's taught you. You shake his hand. His grip is still strong, and turn to leave. At the door, you pause and look back. Heinrich is already at his bench again, picking up his tools, returning to work. He'll work another hour or two, not because he has to, but because he loves to, making something slowly, making something imperfectly, making something beautiful. As you step out into the Vienna night, you touch the piece of wood in your pocket, and you understand. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. To try. To work with love instead of fear. To accept your knots and flaws as part of what makes you unique, interesting, worthwhile. To know that good enough is in fact good enough. Somewhere in that workshop, Heinrich Adler continues his work, 90 years old, the last of his kind, working slowly, patiently, lovingly, making violins that will never be perfect, but will be cherished, creating beauty, not despite the flaws, but because of them, and teaching through his quiet example that perhaps the most important thing we can learn is this: perfection is not the goal. Living fully, working lovingly, accepting gracefully, that's the goal. And in that acceptance, we find something better than perfection. We find peace. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, think about Heinrich's workshop. The smell of wood, the curl of shavings, the patient, steady work of hands that have practiced for 75 years. Think about the violins, each one imperfect, each one beautiful, each one singing its own unique song. And think about yourself. You are not perfect. You will never be perfect. And that's not just okay, it's wonderful. Your flaws are what make you human. Your scars are what make you interesting. Your imperfections are what make you real. Stop trying to sand them away. Stop trying to hide them. Stop trying to be something other than what you are. You are good enough right now as you are, with all your knots and cracks and rough edges. You are enough. Let that truth settle into your bones. Let it ease the constant striving. Let it quiet the voice that says you should be more, do more, be better. You are enough. Like Heinrich's violins, not perfect, but beautiful, but real, but loved. Let yourself rest in that knowing now. You are a masterpiece in progress, and the progress, the imperfect, messy human progress, that's where the beauty lives. Not in the finished product, not in the perfection, but in the loving work of becoming. Sleep now, dear friend. Sleep deeply. Let go of perfection. Embrace what is. Rest in enough. You are exactly as you should be. Good night.